Welcome back to another reading of the Mahabharata. Chapter 28 Bhima's marriage with Hidimbi. The Pandavas, having crossed the river Ganga, wended their way towards the south. They reached Siddhavata. They were extremely tired and thirsty. Bhima's brothers addressed him. Bhima, the way is long and we are weary, but we have to walk a long distance. You must carry us as you did before. Bhima willingly carried them all and walked fast towards the south. The son of Vayu traveled faster than his father. He was intent on only one thing. By daybreak, they should be far away from Varanavata. Duryodhana's spies were everywhere. The dreadful night was over. Bhima realized that they had gone quite a long distance away from the city of Varanavata. They had traveled 8 yojanas. Kunti was extremely tired. She said, "I'm dying of thirst. I cannot proceed even a step further without water. I'm extremely sleepy. I will rest under some tree. I have to. If we are captured by the Kauravas, I don't care. I'm past all caring." There were tears in her eyes when she said this. Bhima took them to a grove nearby and said, "You must all rest here. I feel there is water somewhere near. I can hear the noises made by the water birds." Yudhishthira asked Bhima to go and get some water for their mother. Bhima went in search of water. Not far away from there, he saw a beautiful lake, its surface covered by lotuses and lotus leaves. It was so beautiful that he could not believe it. Bhima also could not walk fast. He was so full of fatigue. He drank deep of that wonderful water. He bathed in it. It was so inviting. He forgot all his fatigue and sleepiness in the thrill of bathing in that cold water. He came out. He wetted his upper cloth with water. He made a cup out of 2 huge lotus leaves and carried the water in that. When he reached the spot where he had left his mother and brothers, he found them fast asleep. He woke them up one by one and gave them water. They drank it and again went to sleep. Bhima sat there by their side watching them. He thought that his heart would break into a million flinders. The sight of his mother sleeping on the ground, which was covered by leaves, was enough to melt a heart of stone. He looked at them one by one. His mother and his beloved brothers. They looked so pathetic and helpless. While they slept, he said to himself, "Here lies my mother. She is the sister of Vasudeva of the house of Rishnis. She is the daughter-in-law of the great house of Kuru. She is the wife of the famous Pandu, and she is the mother of 5 brave sons. Brave indeed. Here we are, running away from the Kauravas to save ourselves from the cruelty of a man who is our father in name. Here lies my brother, a godlike man, fit to rule the world. Here is Arjuna, the greatest archer in the world. The twins, dark and handsome, looking like blue lotuses, can destroy the entire family of Dhritarashtra. Yet, such is fate that we have to go about in hiding, afraid of that heartless man. Can anything be more tragic than this? They, the evildoers, thrive in the world, while we have to suffer at their hands. Still, let us wait and see. The end is of importance and not the beginning. The river begins her course from some unknown crevice in the snow-clad mountain, but her end is so glorious. It will also be great sometime. It is not in the near future. My brother says, "Wait." I shall wait. The world will then see how I shall take revenge on the sinners who were responsible for this scene. They were all sleeping. Bhima thought that it would not be wise if he slept too. Also, the bath had refreshed him, and the cold sting of the water had banished sleep from his eyes. He decided to sit and watch over them all. The forest where they were resting was called Hidimbi. It belonged to a Rakshasa by name Hidimba. He and his sister Hidimbi lived in that forest, eating all the human beings who were foolish enough to enter that forest. While the Pandavas were sleeping, Hidimba was sitting on top of a tree. Suddenly he smelt human flesh. He looked around and saw the sleeping forms of the Pandavas. He spoke to his sister. Listen to me, dear sister. There are human beings here. I can see them from here. My mouth is already watering at the thought of the delicious flesh. I will wait here. You must hurry and kill those human beings. We can then have a feast. It is such a long time since I tasted human flesh. She agreed to do so. Jumping from tree to tree, Hidimbi arrived at the spot very soon. She saw the sleeping Pandavas and their mother. She saw they were all beautiful. They were more lovely than anything she had seen so far. Her eyes came to rest on Bhima. Looking at his body, which was beautifully proportioned, she was overcome with love for him. He was the perfect specimen of manhood, with his broad chest, slim waist, and narrow hips. The name Vrikodara was a suitable name for him. Bhima's figure was just as slim and graceful as that of a wolf. Hidimbi told herself, I have a feeling inside me which tells me that this dark, handsome man is meant to be my lord and master. I love him. How can I obey my brother when my heart is given to this man? He is the only man fit to be my husband. She stood at a distance for a while looking at him, all the while as if her eyes could not drink their fill. She now assumed the form of a lovely woman. She approached him slowly, very slowly. Bhima turned and looked at her, her dark form draped in chaste white. She was beautiful enough to charm anyone. He was surprised to see her there and said, Who are you? You're so very beautiful. How is it you're alone in this dreadful forest? She looked at him with sidelong glances. She smiled a little and spoke to him in a sweet, caressing voice. She said, Who are you? You are so handsome. Who is this dark, beautiful woman who's sleeping here? Who are these young men? Did you know that this forest belongs to a cruel Rakshasa called Hidimba? He relishes human flesh. I must confess that I am his sister Hidimbi. He saw you from a distance and sent me here to kill you all and bring him his favorite food. I came here with that intention, but looking at you and your handsome form, all sinful thoughts have fled from my mind. I have fallen in love with you. I want you as my lord and lover. If you refuse me, I will not be able to live. Please accept me. I will make you very happy. Bhima said, This is my brother, my elder brother, whom I honor as my God. This is my mother. These are my younger brothers. They are all depending on my strength to protect them. What you ask is impossible. I cannot marry you leaving them. She said, I will carry you and your mother away from here. I can assume any shape and any form. I will go far away from my brother and live with you on a mountaintop. Come with me. Bhima said, I'm not so fond of this life of mine that I should protect it leaving my helpless brothers behind. As for your proposal, I think it is wrong. You cannot ask me to do anything that is against all dharma. With tears in her eyes, Hidimbi said, I have offended you. I'm sorry. I do not want to displease you. I will carry you all away from here. This place is dangerous because of my brother. We must hurry. Please wake up your mother and your brothers. My brother will be here any moment. Bhima said, Never. They are sleeping so peacefully. I will not give them a rude awakening. As for your brother, let him come. I'm not a coward. I'm stronger than you think. I have immense strength. I can take care of your brother. They heard a loud noise nearby. Hidimbi looked back. He had waited for his sister for long. She did not come. He became curious about the delay. So he came to find out for himself. The reason he drew near, it was his approach that they heard. Hidimbi was upset. She said, "Even now it is not too late. My brother is near. Still, I can carry you all away from here. Please listen to me." Bhima smiled at her and said, "Do not be upset. Your brother will today meet his match. I can defeat him easily. I am glad I will be able to rid this forest of this pest. Look at me, look at my arms. They are strong enough to crush the life out of the form of your brother. Do not insult me by thinking that I am not strong enough to tackle him." Tears came to her eyes. She said, "My lord, there was no thought of insulting you when I spoke of danger to you. I have now fallen in love with you. You have become so dear to me that I am not willing to lose you. I am afraid that I may lose you. I will wait and watch you kill my brother. You will then take me for wife." Bhima did not speak a word in reply. He smiled to himself. Hidimba had now come near enough to hear his sister. His eyes were red with anger. He shouted, "So, this is how you bring food for your brother. I will punish you. First, I will kill this man who is impertinent enough to think that he is more than a match for me. Then, I will take good care of you. You can meet him in the hall of death." He came near Bhima. Smiling at the Rakshasa, Bhima said, "Please do not make so much noise. My brothers and my dear mother are sleeping. They are very tired. Do not dare to wake them up. As for your talk to your sister, I will kill you for your words. She came here fully intent on obeying you, but she fell in love with me. A woman in love cannot harm her beloved. You say that you will kill her. Let me see how you can do that when I am here. I will rid this forest of you, a monster which has been frightening all the forest dwellers." The two began to fight like two angry tuskers charging at each other. Hidimbi was just watching, her eyes wide with astonishment at the sight of powerful Bhima. The noise of the fighting roused the sleeping princes and their mother. A strange sight met their eyes. Bhima was fighting with the Rakshasa by the looks of him. By their side, however, sat a beautiful woman, looking at Bhima with eyes full of love. Kunti spoke to her softly. "Young woman, you're very beautiful. Are you the goddess who protects this wild forest? Are you an Apsara? Who are you? And what are you doing here? Why are you watching this dreadful fight? Tell me everything." With her head downcast with nervous gestures, Hidimbi said, "This dense forest loved by you, looking like a dark rain cloud laden with water, is the place where we live, my brother and I. The Rakshasa who's now fighting with your son is my brother." She told them all that had been happening. She told Kunti about her love for Bhima. Yudhishthira and her brothers stood watching the fight. After a while, Arjuna said, "Bhima, give me a chance. This is not right. You have been awake since 2 nights. You have walked such a distance carrying all of us. You must be tired. I am now feeling fresh after the sleep. Leave him to me and you take rest." Bhima laughed and said, "Arjuna, don't worry, he's almost dead. Caught between my 2 mighty arms, who can escape death? Why should 2 of us spend our energy to crush this little insect? You just sit and watch the fun. It'll all be over soon." Arjuna said, "You must hurry. Evening is drawing near. You know that the strength of the Rakshasas will increase when night falls. You must kill him before the sun's rim touches the western hill." Bhima took up the immense form of the Rakshasa in his hands and crushed the life out of him. With a terrible cry of pain, Hidimba fell down dead. Bhima's anger did not subside even then. He pummeled the body until it became a shapeless mass of flesh. Yudhishthira embraced his brother and said, "I am fortunate. When I have you for brother, when I have this, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva to protect me. Why should I think that I am alone? I am stronger than all devas put together. Bhima was made to rest for a while. Then Yudhishthira said, let us move away from here. Arjuna said, it looks as though there is a city somewhere about. Let us go there. They began their journey. Poor Hidimbi followed them. She approached Kunti and said, what shall I do? Hearing a voice, Yudhishthira turned round. Hidimbi continued, you are the elder brother of this young man, and you are his mother. I fell in love with him. I want you both to influence him and make him take me for a wife. I cannot live if he refuses me. She looked at Kunti and said, Mother, you're a woman. You must know how much I'm suffering. You must grant me my life. You must grant me happiness. He is my chosen Lord. I will protect all of you from all the dangers in the forest. I will carry all of you when you're too tired to walk. Only, please give me this young man. Kunti was touched by the sincere love this woman had for her son. She said, Yudhishthira, this woman loves Bhima. I feel that her desire should be granted. As for Bhima, it looks as though he is not quite averse to this. She looked at Bhima, who looked everywhere except in her direction. The brothers smiled at his discomfiture. This was a new Bhima. They had never seen him like that before. He smiled bashfully and kicked the stones that lay at his feet. Yudhishthira smiled mischievously at him and said, Bhima, I know what is worrying you. You think that since I am your elder brother, you must not take a wife until I do. Do not let that worry you. When eye meets eye, then is a marriage performed. You can take her for wife. I want you to be happy. The two beings who were in love looked at each other and looked away. This brings us to the end of chapter 28, Bhima's marriage with Hidimbi. More on the Mahabharata here on Storytime with Rajesh later. Until then, this is me, Rajesh, signing off. Ciao.